stage, so let's go ahead and kick it off. Welcome, everyone. It's time for another episode of Agencies Talk, the show that gives you an inside look at the world of agency professionals. I am your moderator, Michelle Knight, the community manager here at DigitalMarketer, and I am so excited to be here with y'all today. We're going to be doing a deep dive into the nitty-gritty of what makes agencies tick, exploring the challenges that they face, and the amazing solutions that they've come up with to overcome them. Today, we're talking with Eloisa Wolf. Eloisa is a director and digital marketing consultant with over 25 years of experience at places like Google and Nokia. She has worked in over 25 countries across America, Europe, and Asia. Wow. And she is incredibly passionate about bringing global inclusion projects such as Womenwill into Latin America to empower women entrepreneurs, as well as working on projects for NGOs dedicated to making a positive impact in the world. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in chat for Eloisa. But without further delay, let's go ahead and kick it over to Mark, President of DigitalMarketer, to get us started.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Grasse, and I am so excited to talk to Eloisa. We actually worked together. When was that? Was that 2-3 months ago on the workshop project? I know we did something. No, maybe that wasn't you. We've spoken multiple times before, though. You're not on mute, are you?
I'm the bigger one that is always asking about Spanish-speaking resources and all of that, so maybe that's why.
Oh, that's right. No, we did a YouTube shoot talk, and you actually shot in Spanish. That was our first Spanish shot video, so that was fantastic. So very happy to have you here. I think a lot of people don't really understand the opportunity that we have with Latin America, and well, Latin America is the closest one, but with the entire planet, because you know, a lot of the concepts that we talk about here in America and at DigitalMarketer for the last dozen years actually haven't been, you know, super adopted by the rest of the planet. So there's a huge opportunity there. So I want to just start with that, kind of the opportunity in Latin America and kind of how you're taking advantage of that.
Yeah, so thank you for the invitation. So I have worked most of my professional life for Latin America while working for international companies. So I have had to work with headquarters, bringing stuff from the world to the region. And one of the things that people are surprised is that with one language, you can cover 350 million people or more. And then if you count that US Hispanics is now 19% of the US populations, and about half or more than half speak Spanish, still speak Spanish well, you have an enormous population that you can cover with one language. And then you have, of course, Spain. So if you count the numbers, it's just staggering, and the opportunity is enormous. And one of the things that people also don't know very much about Latinos and the Latin American population is they have the highest consumption of social media of any group, and especially video. So the highest consumption of any group is in the Latino population in video. So it's one of the great opportunities for brands and for agencies to work for this community, either in the US, Latin America, or in Europe.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, and it's, you know, the culture itself, I think, lends itself well to what we already produce here in America. And, you know, we consume a lot of entertainment from Latin America as well. So it's, I think it's a really close relationship that most businesses aren't taking advantage of. We actually did produce our digital marketing mastery in Spanish last year, but we actually haven't told anybody about it. So look for that soon.
Yeah, you told me and have been waiting since we met.
I know.
Very well taken. Actually, I'm doing the sessions in Spanish. I translated the materials, and the reception has been amazing.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
I was telling Michelle that I actually have a waiting list now.
Wow.
People wanting to do the process after the results they're getting with the tools.
That's fantastic. Is it mainly the customer value journey? Is that kind of what you start with the conversion?
Yeah, it's the customer value journey, but it starts with the avatar. It's just the transformation. It's just doing it right. Most have an avatar, but they haven't dug deeply into the tools. So from the start, even with the avatar, I have them hooked, and they want to continue with the CVJ and all the tools.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, let's talk about specifically YouTube, because I know you mentioned we will talk about AI since we're doing a lot of AI stuff lately. You have mentioned that you're actually already using AI on YouTube. How is that working out, and what can we
Yeah,
do to...
so as a background, my last 2 years at Google, I was there 9 years in marketing for the Latin American region. And the last 2 years, I headed the narrative for YouTube for the Spanish-speaking Latin American region. And the data was amazing. And one of the things is there was not enough production versus the demand of content in Spanish. Actually, there were tools. So I had the vision from Google, and then when I left and I started working with clients regarding YouTube, the opportunity was enormous. So I started working with them mainly using VidIQ. And I have been using it. It doesn't work as well in Spanish. It doesn't have all the tools in Spanish as it does in English, but I'm also using other tools to try to get SEO into YouTube and all of that. So I'm testing actually all day long tools from VidIQ to YouTube Buddy to I'm saying it in Spanish, and GPT-3. I'm testing it to see how well it works in Spanish, because it's not the same as in English. So I'm doing a mixture of the tools. So yesterday in the meeting, I took tons of notes and I'm testing them to see how they function in Spanish.
Oh, fantastic. So is it more the ideation type stuff through ChatGPT?
Ideation, summaries. I tried to put the tool to summarize videos. It didn't work very well. I tried to do that. There was a tool that you input and you summarize the videos. I tried that. It didn't work very well. For SEO, I title ideas. That works amazingly well. And I have been doing A/B testing to test CTRs, click-through rates, and it works amazingly well.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there any way you could share your screen maybe and try to kind of walk us through? Because if somebody hasn't used VidIQ, it's important that they kind of know what it does.
Let me open my computer then. I have access to a lot of channels. So
a million tabs open. Yeah, that's pretty standard.
The thing is, I'm handling currently like 15 huge channels in Spanish. I'm doing projects for them. So let me try to hide the information.
We'll have to talk about how to manage 15 channels too, because that's a lot of channels.
Yeah, well, I'm helping them do, like, I'm teaching their teams how to use VidIQ in their in that YouTube.
I will say, I use ChatGPT for the latest video we just posted at DigitalMarketer's YouTube channel, and we'll see how it performs, but it spit out like a killer title just immediately, because it was basically, the video is super short. It's by Goldie Chan, and what she does is talk about how Slim Jim kind of excelled on Twitter like instantly. And so I asked for a cheeky title for a YouTube video about how Slim Jim does great on Twitter, and it came up with beefing up on Twitter, how Slim Jim sizzles with social media savvy. I was like, oh, that's killer. Like, we'll see if it performs, but I was super impressed with how quick it was.
Let me go to a smaller channel and show you that one that won't get mad if I show their information.
Are you building your own channel as well? Because that's usually where
I'm not. I'm one of the very strange types that doesn't like to be on camera that much, but I'm learning. I was always behind the scenes in marketing. Let me see that if that opens. It's not.
I'm gonna find your video that we actually put up. I think it was late last year. Let's see if I can get it.
Yeah, no, it's not coming up. Let's see. So let me see. Let me say that when it opens. So what I'm doing with VidIQ, and what is interesting about VidIQ, is a Chrome extension. So I can go into a channel and I go into analytics from YouTube Analytics. And what it gives me tons of options. It gives me competitor research. It gives me title research. So it gives me via AI, I can choose titles. And I put just keywords and it generates like 10, 15, 20 options in titles. It all depends on the language. In Spanish, it's a little bit less, in English, is more. Then I can do descriptions. Then it gives me options and it gives me a rating on keywords. So and it mixes demand versus competition. So any keyword that is above 50, it's good to go, and it's below 50, it will face a lot of competition. So it's really, really useful to do analysis and to also optimize really, really fast a YouTube channel. It's not perfect, it's getting there, but it's the best tool I have found out there, other than YouTube Trends, Google Trends, using the YouTube tab. That works very well also.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, and I found it just it's so automatic because it's kind of loaded into YouTube. Like if you actually look at it, it shows you all the stats on every video that you watch. So as you're kind of just browsing YouTube, you'll actually find, you know, a bunch of neat things without trying.
Yeah, actually, there's one data that I just got from YouTube, actually official data. We were working on a channel in Spanish that to teach calligraphy, lettering. And this channel had 650 views per day. It has been there for it's a 5-year-old channel. And we started doing doing the work with using VidIQ. The channel exploded, and we also did some videos with the keywords using VidIQ. And the channel exploded, and it went 1000% in views in just 7 days.
Wow. And that was all through VidIQ optimization?
Yeah, what we did is every video that had good average views, and also had average views is the most important because the duration of the video, the views in the video. So for example, if people saw more than 50%, we knew it had a winner. And what we did is if the CTR was low, then we just fixed thumbnail and title and reposted with that. And that way you can get a much higher CTR. And then you can do your whole library, you can repurpose it with titles and thumbnails. You only do that with the good videos, of course. You need to look at the data. And we looked at the average view duration. And afterwards, we created 7 videos that had high demand with the best title and the best thumbnail we could find, and with good scripts. I just posted them, and it went ballistic.
Oh, that's fantastic. So is that kind of the starting process you do with a new client in terms of they have an existing YouTube channel and you start by auditing and optimizing?
Yeah, we do. I do both, actually. I have been called by very successful creators that are very heavy on Instagram or heavy on Facebook, but want to move to evergreen, which YouTube is an evergreen channel. So what we do is I do research, keyword research, competitive analysis, check the opportunity, and let them know which angle they can work on, and which videos we need, and also which format works best for their avatar. And we use the DigitalMarketer avatar.
Ooh, nice.
And I use the customer value journey to let them know which videos are for which stage. So I post YouTube on top of the customer value journey. So for example, you're new, this is the video that I need. If you want to convert, this is the video that we need. And we do series, because you need to think about YouTube in series. It's similar to Netflix. People think of it as Netflix. So that's when you're starting a channel. We work about 2.5 weeks doing just research. And with the research, we plan a series of videos, post them, test them, optimize them, and with the data, make decisions of which direction to go to. That's when you know you are from Instagram or Facebook. The second part is large channels that have hundreds, thousands of videos, but are not going nowhere. So anymore. Perhaps they have 1 million subscribers, but nobody's consuming their videos. So we go in, pull with AI the metadata from the channel, and build huge databases where we cross information to define which are the winning videos, CTR, average view duration, and lists. And with the data, we make decisions on which ones to repurpose, which ones to hide, and which ones to dive deeper into.
Excellent. And when you're doing this whole process, do you actually estimate like the increase in traffic, or give the client some kind of expectation of like, okay, here's what we're doing and here's what we've seen in the past in terms of results?
Actually, in YouTube, it's difficult because it depends on the niche and the competition. So, for example, I worked with a channel. She did everything perfectly, but she was in what is called a red ocean, extremely competitive, super difficult to stand out. So for her, it was getting maybe 10% new subscribers and just optimizing the channel for evergreen sales. That was the purpose. For other channels, like this channel is maybe 10x growth in 2 months. And they're channels that have the potential to become 100,000 subscribers in 6 months because they're in the best position ever with content that nobody's doing. For example, personal branding. Personal branding is a huge subject, and there's a lot of demand and very few people, at least in the Spanish-speaking world, talking about it.
No, that's awesome. So basically you set the avatar, then you review their existing materials, and then you optimize the highest performing of those materials that fit with the new avatar.
Yeah, it's iteration. So it's all the time looking at the data, what the data is showing you, and going into the different directions. And when you do it right with the data using VidIQ, AI, and all of that, and do A/B testing. And for example, you have a title. I was reading, I love to read, and I was reading the process that the coach of Mr. Beast follows. And for example, they post the videos and they watch the CTR in the first 24 hours. And if the CTR is below their normal, they change the thumbnail and the title until they go to the level that they need, for example. And
keep going.
No, and for example, when people do that, you get the power of YouTube. If you just post videos with no looking at the data, you can be very lucky and have millions of views, but it will be luck. But if you really look at the analytics and really understand the data and then really use the AI tools well, you have a very high chance of having a lot of success. And evergreen videos, which is a purpose.
I love that. Well, and I love how you connected each one to a stage of the customer value journey, because I think the problem is, and when we talk about this a lot in the new social media certification, is that you're just making content or making posts to make posts. Like there is no target, there's no objective. It's just, well, I got to be on YouTube, and then people just kind of put out whatever. But like you were saying, even if you do put out whatever, if you're not looking at your stats within 24 hours, which our expert on the certification, Owen video, actually talked about, which is to change the thumbnail, change the title, and then also he said sometimes they even delete the hook, because if the hook is the first 10 seconds of the video is not hitting, then you could actually just go in and eliminate that as well, and that makes a huge difference. So this all sounds like a ton of work. Do you do one video per day, or how do you actually keep track of all these things that are happening?
Actually, right now I'm working, they're very established creators. So, or coming from Instagram or coming from YouTube. So what we do is the first week we do research, or 2 weeks of research, and we give them data and tell them, go and optimize what we need. Mostly when they have a lot of videos. So we optimize and hide all of these videos because they're distracting. Then let's create lists. And then the other thing that is most people don't do well, they don't do end screens. Please, could you let them know to do end screens? They send people to their competitors.
Oh, that's right, because it's just related videos, right?
I think 80% of the large channels in English and Spanish do not do end screens well. And when the people end the video, the algorithm feeds them the next best video, which will be from their competitors. Most of the time, it won't be theirs.
It's all you have to do is manually go in there and set like, here's the next video, which goes into your content series that you mentioned as well.
Yeah, coming from the mindset of Netflix. So Celia is asking a question. Let me see.
Oh, the end screen.
Yeah, it's called end screens. So what you do is you have, I'm sorry.
Should we do it live on your video on DigitalMarketer? We could do that.
Yeah, well, I have access to a channel. If you want, I can show you a channel.
Oh,
I
sure.
think you won't get mad that I'm showing you. But
We'll do that, and then
okay.
we'll optimize your video because I haven't done that on your video.
So actually, this is a channel that I love her. She's just starting. This is a brand new channel. And so, for example, and actually she has something that is new to the world. She actually has access to podcasts. You know that YouTube launched last week almost in many channels the podcast the tool. So because what it will do is we'll put podcasts in voice in YouTube Music. So you will be able to either watch or listen, but it will give you a lot of tools for podcasting in YouTube. I don't know if you have seen that.
No, I need to start using that too.
The second largest platform in the world for podcasting is YouTube. And they're aiming to become the #1. So they just launched and they have a whole deck on how to use podcasting. So I'll share it to you. So here, for example, here I have recommendations to titles, for example, claves, keys to your personal brand. So I can get, using AI, using that, I can get a lot of suggestions. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. But here I can have AI descriptions, and I can have, here are the titles. It gives me all of these titles using AI, that's VidIQ. Then it gives me keywords. And for example, personal brand has 65. It tells me it's perfect. A lot of demand, very little competition. It gives me, this is the miniatures, the thumbnails, and it gives me a ranking on how well it's optimized using SEO. So if you're seeing my screen here, she has a 33, which gives us room for that. But basically what VidIQ gives you is keywords, descriptions, and all of that. Can you see me? So what I do is I teach their teams so they can go and optimize. But prior to that, we look at the data of the channel, which we look at in statistics. And in statistics, I can look at the average view duration. I can look at CTR. I can look at everything, even demographics. So this is a brand new channel, and I can look if it's how it works. So I spend most of my time here in analytics, looking at the data. But if you use AI, you can pull the data from the whole channel and rank it. And in big Excel sheets, you can rank it, and then you can choose the top 30 videos, the videos that you want to hide, and the videos that you can optimize using the data.
Oh, fantastic. Well, and you just showed like a million different capabilities of VidIQ instantly on a video, which will massively speed up what's going on. Just so everybody knows, they actually have statistics on YouTube, but they're kind of a pain in the butt to work.
Yeah.
So that's a huge option, especially because you manage so many channels. So you basically kind of segment each channel, and then you say, okay, today I'm going to review this one, and then you just go down the list. Yeah,
well, the thing is, I do the channels by, they ask me to help them with one channel. I help them, and I oversee sometimes once a week how it's doing, if they're doing what they need to do, their ratings and all of that. I don't manage them. I'm just overseeing that their teams are managing them well, and they are going into the direction that the project was trying to get.
Awesome. Well, I don't have VidIQ, but what I thought we could do is maybe look at one of our videos, and then you could tell me about the end screen. Oh, Michelle has a question as well. That was
no, that was excitement.
I was like, oh no, what I forget. Let me find your video real quick, and then I'll share my screen and we'll go through it. I love doing this, by the way. This is my favorite way to do interviews. Let's see.
I wasn't ready. I didn't have a video plan. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
Grace's
that's
favorite.
my fault. Is not preparing the people I'm interviewing. All right.
Need this.
So I think this is the one that we made. Oh, when was it? It was a while back. Not a ton of views. Did not go through the re-optimization process, and so this probably needs a lot of work. But what I think we should talk about is probably this end screen that you were mentioning.
Yeah. So this is a part that a lot of people forget. March of last year. So basically, you can choose different end screens, and you can decide if you're going to send them to a playlist, ask them to subscribe, or go to specific videos. So for example, it makes a lot of sense if you're doing videos, I don't know, on YouTube, to send them to the next best video on YouTube. So people remain, and you have the best ever signal for Google and YouTube, which is average view duration, the watch time that people spend. And if people watch the video through the end, then YouTube has a signal to share it among other people that are similar, and the circle grows, and it recommends it automatically. So that's the most important signal of all.
Yeah, I just did it. It took me 2 seconds. And what it allows you to do is actually select the format that you want. So I selected a video, and then picking a specific video, and then also the subscribe, because why not, right? Yeah. And done.
And I have seen, I was just looking at a channel that has 1 million subscribers, has tons of views each day, and they didn't have end screens. They were sending all their, I don't know, maybe 10,000 views a day to their competitors, and they didn't know it.
That's probably what we're doing. Well, we don't have 1 million subscribers though, so that's a relief. So let's just talk about this video itself. So how would you we don't have the stats, of course. We do have the basic Google analytics on here. So there's a little bit of information, but how would you go in here and say optimize this video?
So I would go, first I would go to analytics to see what I need to optimize. So what you would do is the watch time is, I need to go there, and I need to go the average view duration if you go down. So what it tells me is that this video is somewhat underperforming versus the typical retention, which is typical retention is this gray part, and that, but it's not too bad because the percentage is 46%, which is high. So there's some data that tells you that, for example, videos under 2 minutes should go to 50%, or above 10 minutes should go to 60%. It all depends on the length of the video. So this is a 2-minute video, and they watch it 46%. That's not bad. So it gives me the signal that perhaps the video, you can still improve it, but if you want to repurpose it, I would change the cover, which is the thumbnail, and the title, and look at the CTR, which is the click-through rate.
Yeah, this is pretty basic.
Yeah.
Working in Spanish. So should we use ChatGPT, see what it comes up with?
Yeah, use it.
All right, let's do it.
And some tricks, brands, numbers work extremely well in titles. So
brands and numbers, like list numbers.
List numbers, number one opportunity, also brands. Digital marketing approaching the Spanish-speaking market, or anything like that, works very well. Look.
There you go. Unlocking a $1 billion market. Learn how Eloisa Wolf is revolutionizing Spanish marketing. That sounds good. Should we do more?
Yeah, you can do more.
10 more. We'll have everybody vote on their favorite.
Mickey had a question while you're doing that. What's the percentage or number of Spanish speakers on YouTube, for example, reach 500,000 more people with Spanish videos?
The number that normal year is giving on consumers in YouTube is about, in Spanish, is about 350 million.
It's a good number. All right, so that's what we got.
Mhm.
Want to tap into a massive market? Are you missing out on the Spanish speaking market? Revolutionize your marketing strategy. It's funny when you say clickbait, it always has like questions and exclamation marks. Let's see what it does with a more professional. Okay, so here's, oh, it says around 500 million as of September 2021, which is the cutoff date. So that's solid. Let's see what it does with more professional titles, because our actually, you know what? I'm overcomplicating things. Let's see. Let's say create a title that appeals to professional marketers using this as a base. There we go. See what it does. Oh, it's talking about reach. Oh, give me 10. Expanding your reach, leveraging Eloisa's expertise in Spanish marketing to attract a global audience. Oh, that's really good too.
Oh.
Breaking barriers and building bridges. The advantages of Spanish speaking marketing with Eloisa Wolf. Get ahead of the game. Key to successful marketing. Think globally, act locally. Power of language. Now, who would you say is the top digital marketer in your market or in the Latin market or just Mexico, wherever you want?
I cannot give you a name, actually.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it's very difficult to find because there are a lot of specialists, but that part. Let's see how
Let's
it.
ask ChatGPT. Juan Pablo.
That's it. Mhm.
Hugo, you think he's the best?
The thing is, he's the owner of an education marketplace.
Ah, okay. No, we want somebody.
That's why.
Digital marketing. How about Victor Hugo Albergo? Any of these names ring a bell?
Growth Hackers rings a bell.
Yeah.
Which one?
Paola Aldaz, number 8, CEO of Growth Hackers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's see.
Okay. Right, a title and style. Or YouTube video using oh, it's writing in Spanish now.
Wow.
That's a long one. Oh, what's your advice for title length?
Less than 60 characters. For YouTube, it's less than 60 characters.
In less than 60. That's boring. I like our other ones better.
The ones on top, yeah. It would be very interesting to test this out with VidIQ and see which ones work better.
Yeah, because I'm kind of wondering how they do it. So is it, does VidIQ use AI to generate those titles, or is it more of a, oh, okay, it does.
Yeah, it's AI. And it keeps them under 60 characters most of the time. It really follows what you need to do for YouTube.
Specifically. Okay.
Yeah, but it would be great to test it because VidIQ is not so, it doesn't, if you talk to them, they tell you it's still not perfect for Spanish. For English, it works very well, but it would be great to test. And if you look at click-through rate, you get the data really, really fast if it's performing, because it tells you if people are clicking, and it's a mixture of the image and the title.
Awesome.
Actually, the other cool thing is AI thumbnails.
Oh, so how are you generating AI thumbnails?
I haven't done that, but people are using Midjourney.
Okay. Oh, we could do that. Should we generate a
And the
Midjourney?
other thing is there are certain rules for thumbnails. You can really know if a thumbnails will perform because they follow rules.
What are
Actually,
the rules?
for example, the rule of thirds, people, a lot of expressions, no text, and there are like 15 styles that really perform above all of the rest.
Are those listed somewhere we
They're
can?
listed in actually the book by the coach of Mr. Beast.
Oh, there you go.
Daryl Eves.
YouTube formula. Daryl Eves. Nice. Well, you want to put the Amazon link there?
Yeah, highly recommended. It's the only book that really is diving deep into the analytics as it should, and doing A/B testing and doing all the things that it needs to do in YouTube.
Listing Q2, get rid of that. What do you want to be the subject of yours? I could use base, but you can see what happened here. It doesn't exactly look like the person.
Okay.
We could turned our head of marketing for Scalable into an androgynous person.
Yeah. Actually, I did the test before the training yesterday on AI. I tested my avatar, but I was very disappointed. It only brought up men when I mentioned highly successful agency owners, only men. And I tested it like 10 times. And then Hispanics, of course, I don't look Hispanic, but I meant Hispanic. But I mean, all of them were like the same way, and men. So it's,
We'll do this.
you have to really be careful. I see the women nodding, but it's Midjourney still has a way to go.
Well, for that, like I like Lensa. If you want like a really accurate avatar, I always say Lensa is the best way to get the result you want, because actually all you do is you submit like 20 selfies and then it generates the artwork based on those selfies, versus Midjourney where you can only usually load like one picture at a time and it's not enough data, I think. So let's say Hispanic female creating YouTube videos. I'm just going to generate a subject for us real quick. Or not real quick. Sometimes, just so everybody knows, Midjourney, sometimes you'll start multiple prompts at the same time and just wait, and then you'll just listen for the, and then it'll spit out your little icon. So we'll give that a second. Well, let's see what it does. Then I'll pull up our thumbnail creator.
Wow.
There we go.
You're so fast with all these tools. I never know which tab I'm in.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
is asking for you to repeat what you use for the avatar.
Lensa. Sorry, let me pull it up. I think it's an app. I don't even know if they do it online. Yeah, so it's actually a phone app, so you can't access it online. You have to use your phone. All right, let's see what Midjourney did. Is it something we can use? Oh, it's pretty good. Looks like a person.
Yeah.
Which one do you like best?
The one on top right.
Top right?
Yeah.
We're gonna up level that one. Or they call it upscaling. I like up leveling though, because it actually adds detail. Sometimes they'll fix like wonky faces. Will not fix wonky hands, but this one should be pretty easy.
It's because you're a marketer.
Because I'm a marketer. Okay, so we'll wait for that to start, and then we're going to pull. Oh yeah, so you didn't pick a new title. Let's pick your title. If I could find the tab I had. Oh, there it is. All right, there we go. Which title do you like best, Eloisa? Based on your professional experience with a million YouTube videos.
Okay. Wow. I like 8, the potential.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so let's go ahead and plug this in here. This is another little cheat for everybody. If you don't know what to do, just grab one of these existing templates and just switch out the junk. It's the easiest way you can do it. So I'm going to pick, let me look at our subject again, see if it finished generating. Still working. Okay, and how, just so you guys know how I usually pick these, I can either generate this based on a landscape format, which will give me what I really need, or if I am deciding where I want to place the subject, whether on the left or the right, I'll actually look at the shoulders. So you can see here, like in this bottom right one, her right arm is cut off. So I know that this subject is going to have to be featured on the right side of a thumbnail, versus this image on the top left doesn't have anything cut off. So I could use it on either side, except I would probably use it on the left side of a featured image just because she's facing to the right. So I want her facing towards the title. So it subliminally tells the viewer to look to the right at the title. So she has her arm cut off on the right. So what I'll do is probably feature her on, oh no, I did 4. Oh, I did 4 instead of 2. Okay, we're going to use 4. I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong one. Anyways, let me grab my image. Okay, I'm gonna copy my image. I'm gonna use a base. So again, she's on the right, so I could do something that's on the right. So we'll keep it simple. There we go. That's simple. I'm not gonna use any of this other junk, but like the word cloud, get rid of that. I just want the words really. Her. I'm going to paste my image in here. I'm going to use both the, now I'll just have to use her as the subject. So I'm going to edit the image. I'm going to remove the background. This sometimes takes a little bit. This one's pretty simple, so it should be pretty quick. But then I'm going to need a dark background. Actually, I want a studio background. So now I'll come into my elements, type in studio. Maybe a blur, studio blur. My photos, kind of a blur. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, so I'm going to replace my background. Get the camera in there. Replace background. I got my cutout image. We are going to have to give her a little dark background in there. I usually do like a overlay element to make this less obnoxious in the back and bring out my subject, and also cover up that her hair is kind of screwed up by the process. Up, send that backwards. I'm going to change the opacity. I have a pretty good looking image. Okay, now we're going to take our title. I lost it again. There we go. Unleashing the potential, mastering expertise, blah, blah, blah. Go back into Canva. I hate when they split up these, then you have to do a bunch more work. Ooh, I do like the separate font. Now, I will say, as you're doing this, make sure that you're using your style guide for whatever brand you're talking about. Otherwise, you're going to piss off your creative designer. Or just make, everything less consistent, which we always like consistency, including in our font spacing, which we use -60 in Gotham here at DigitalMarketer. 40, there we go. I want to separate these two parts. So I'm going to put this part up here. And now we're going to go Gotham again. Again, modify our spacing. Another quick tip. If you're having trouble like moving stuff around, it's better to like lock your elements. So in this case, it doesn't always work right, but I'm going to try to lock that element. Sometimes it locks all of them, but it worked right that time. Okay, there we go. So now, actually, I'm going to get rid of this part. This is not a picture of you, and this is actually just a personal preference because it's tricking or not tricking. It's confusing the viewer, because if you say like, oh, this is Eloisa, and then it's not Eloisa, then you're already getting off path. So I'm actually going to eliminate this part. I'm just going to keep it really simple with this. It's still kind of boring though. I have to fix that. So let's go back to our design elements. look at what we have. So let's go ahead and angle this just a little bit. I think this is already a lot more clickable though than the existing what we had before. And we don't have to pay a model or a photographer. It's great.
Yeah.
All right. I probably changed colors here and stuff. I know you're all probably getting bored. Now, I will say one more thing about just this design element. I always like to incorporate something of the brand, maybe not the logo, but what we usually do is this, which is our gear, an outline of our gear, just so the user knows like, oh, okay, it's a digital marketer thing, because all digital marketer videos have that kind of background image. And you can see it adds another kind of visual element that makes the whole picture look more interesting. You can also change the color of any kind of PNG with the transparent background by using duotone. It's not going to be perfect, but it's still better than me having to like re-render an image. So let's say that we want the blue. So I'll change it to blue. And it brought it to the front for some reason. No, it was still in the back. Canva. Any graphic designers here will understand the frustration with going from Photoshop to Canva. But it's just so fast. You can't deny it. And I'm going to make Spanish speaking highlighted so people understand the purpose of this. I'll usually use a yellow, but again, make sure you're finding the style guides that people want. I don't like that on the second line. Sorry, I'm going all graphic nerd on everybody. I'm going to do the whole thing. All right, bear with me. It's almost done. So this is how it's a pain in the butt, but if you want to make your titles a little bit more professional looking, all you have to do is just go line by line and change the font size. And this is breaking some graphic design rules because you shouldn't be manipulating individual lines like this, but whatever. I'm the host. I'm going to do it anyways. There we go. All right. And there. And I want Spanish speaking on one line. And I want markets on one line. Then I'll actually modify this. And if anybody wants to develop some kind of plugin for just lining up text like this, I will be so happy and promote the crap out of it. Because I get so sick of doing this. And even explaining what I'm doing right now to people is complicated. Because I've tried to train many people on how to do this. But it's just a lot of visual elements like manually figuring out the line breaks. That's another aspect of what makes this a little bit harder to understand.
Hey, Mark, we have a design question.
Sure.
Why all caps? They are very hard to read. And I was always taught to use the first letter uppercase and the rest of the word lowercase.
Yeah, you could. I mean, at this point, it's just a brand style element, but you can see I took that away. I like using all caps because I could line up text, and it's kind of a visual aspect rather than a reading aspect. But this is interesting too. So do whatever you want. Just do it consistently.
One thing is, if you're doing thumbnails, you think about mobile, and you have to test out that it looks good on mobile and that you can read it. So that's the most important part, that it can be read easily in mobile, because a lot of people consume YouTube in mobile. Yeah, and as Mickey is saying, it depends on the brand guidelines. Actually, one of the recommendations for YouTube thumbnails is not a lot of text in the thumbnail. The text is in the title. A lot of thumbnails work best with images that depict an idea. Sometimes it's difficult and you need the text, but if you can depict the idea with images, it has a much higher click-through rate in YouTube.
I think this is as good as it's going to get right now. Or ever, because I'm not going to go back and do this again. All right, that's good enough. It's one of those things where you keep on messing with it. So let's go ahead. So what we'll do, and I know we're coming up on our time, but we used your advice. We used AI to generate both the image and the title. And now we're going to see if your video performs better with all these different new elements added into it. So
Amazing.
there, I'm too lazy to add it. See if I can find the right tab for the actual video. There we go. Okay. So let's update that title. We made it 100 characters. All right, now we're going to switch out. Here we go. Oh, we didn't even put you in a playlist yet. Oh, I'm the worst. Okay. Change. And we are going to put this into the. No, I'm not going to do that right now. Done. There we go. All right. So follow up to this. We'll probably paste it when it's ready, but this is the new video setup using your advice. So we'll find out if it works. Everybody stay tuned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something that I would click on probably. Just based on that, I'm like, oh, that's a professionally created image. That looks like somebody spent a lot of time and effort thinking about. And it wasn't, it was 10 minutes. 20 minutes. There we go. All right. Well, thank you so much. Sorry, I sucked up a bunch of time with that, but I love implementing the stuff you guys talk about like instantly, just because we'll see if it works. I mean, obviously it works because you're doing it with a bunch of people, but you know, our individual use cases are very helpful for people.
No, thank you for doing that. You're so fast. Actually, I got a ton of ideas on how to help my clients even better.
Well, and if you, I like doing this, the Canva tip is actually pretty helpful, because instead of having to create individual Canva files, you just duplicate and then you make some changes, and then it makes it like 100 times faster, which we do these series. I don't know if you guys noticed on our YouTube video, our YouTube channel, we actually come out with a series each week, or we try to, and they're all related videos to each other. And then, yeah, it increases content production substantially.
And if you use data and measure CTR, then you are on your way. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, that's actually the most important part. I'm kind of just distracted, and so I'm very into making the content in the first place, and then I'm like, moving on. See you later. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Where can people connect with you or find out more about what you do?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Eloisa Wolf, Eloisa Wolf, like the animal, marketing, and Instagram, on LinkedIn, Eloisa Wolf.
Fantastic.
Eloisa Wolf.
Well, this is great. And we'll definitely, next time you're in town, we definitely need to shoot some more content, because yeah, this video is probably gonna get 1 million views now that we just fixed it.
No, thank you very much.